Hi guys, welcome to Passport to Pasta, your favorite podcast for everything about moving to Italy. Today we have the story of Merrill, my dear friend who moved here 9 years ago to Rome from India.
Hi, Charlotte. Thank you for having me on your podcast.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. I'm glad you're here. So let's jump right in. What made you decide to move to Rome?
Well, I did my master's in Rome. So I wanted it to be in Europe somewhere because I wanted to travel, and I applied to Barcelona, to Berlin, and Rome. And then it was like a no-brainer because I was like, I love pasta, I love wine. Why would I go anywhere else?
I
So I chose Rome, and yeah, it's been 9 years since that.
So you studied here, you fell in love with the city,
Yeah.
and decided to stay.
Yeah, basically.
Wow, oh, that's
Yeah.
nice. What did your family think of you staying here?
I mean, initially when I wanted to move to Italy, they were like a bit wary about everything because, when you think of Italy, you think of the mafia. And they were like, okay, she's moving there by herself. It may not be safe. So it took it took them some time to wrap their head around it.
That was their concern.
Yeah.
First.
But then I think they spoke to people who'd been to Italy, who'd lived here. So they were like, okay, cool, fine. And when I did move here, I never thought I would just, live here, be here 9 years later. But then, yeah, I think after a point, I was like, I don't see myself moving back, and I don't see myself living anywhere else. So, yeah.
Wow. And so when you came here, you didn't know anyone.
No one.
Okay.
I mean, other than the school that
Yeah.
kind of helped me with initial paperwork and stuff. But
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the same for me. It's a courageous and it's a hard thing to do,
Yeah.
starting from zero. I imagine now you've made many friends here in the city.
Of course.
And it feels like home.
Yeah. I think it's like the city that made me an actual adult.
Yeah. Where
I
you had
moved-
the most growth.
Yeah, because I moved here when I was 24, and like in India, it's different. We have so much support, like for anything you want to do, that you have your family, you have friends, you know someone who can help you. Like things move easy, and then you come to Italy, and even if you want to get one small thing done, the bureaucracy is so complicated.
That's true. Very true.
That it's just a lot more complicated, to deal with.
But worth it.
But worth it, of course.
Okay.
Luckily, I mean, now that I have the permanent residency, it's like, okay, I don't have to think about it much.
So now you have the permesso di soggiorno?
Yeah.
But you have it permanent.
The illimitato,
Okay.
they usually give it for 10 years at
Yeah.
a time. Yeah, so I have that
Okay.
for now.
Oh, great. And how was it? What kind of visa did you start out with, or how did you?
Yeah, so I had a student visa at the start. Then I had to convert that to work.
Okay.
But there were a lot of complications because never go to an Italian calf. They don't know what the hell they're doing with immigration
And they
stuff.
charge a lot, right?
They charge, and then they'll do stuff, but then they don't know what the laws are. And because of that, I had so many complications when I had to shift it.
Yeah.
And I had to take admission to another school because they didn't put the right paperwork through and stuff like that. So it was really complicated.
Okay.
But then I think I was also kind of lucky because in Italy, I think everyone does whatever they feel like in the moment.
Yes, I see.
Including with bureaucracy.
Yes. It
So-
depends on who you get.
Yeah, because so they blocked my file saying that I don't have this nulla osta, that you need to convert like your student permit to the working one.
Yeah.
And so they blocked the file. And the only way to correct that was that, okay, why don't you go and get admission to a school and get your contract canceled so we can give you another one as a student, and then you can do the proper procedure and like move it to work,
Okay.
to a work permit. So I did that, and guess what? When I went to collect it, they gave me a work permit.
No, you're kidding. Oh my goodness.
So I basically never had to do the actual process of like getting the nulla osta and like
Yes.
things like that. But it's not caused
That's
me
hilarious.
issues.
I know. Things just kind of slip through the cracks.
Yeah, I mean,
and-
okay, I did go to the immigration office. I asked them, what do you need me to do? Like,
Yeah.
what's the solution in this situation? And they were like, we'll keep your file open. Just get us like a admission to a school and we'll reissue a student one.
Yeah.
So that's what I was expecting. But then when I got it, it was for work. And
So
that was the end of that.
So for people who don't know, CAF, CAAF, is the centers here that help you with your bureaucracy and with all types of procedures. I was actually thinking of going to one next week because I want to get my citizenship.
Oh my God.
So you're recommending don't waste your money at a CAF. Do you think there's...
No, I would say go to the ones that deal with immigrants rather than the Italians because they've never had to do these things usually.
Yeah.
So they don't care that much.
So find one in a big city that is used to dealing with that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Basically, I go to a Filipino CAF and they know a lot of stuff because they deal with primarily non-Italians.
Of
so
course.
yeah, they know the procedures quite well.
That's a good trick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And so what kind of work do you do here?
Now I work in marketing, but I freelance. So I work for myself and I work in B2B marketing where I do a lot of content for LinkedIn accounts. Yeah.
Okay. And so you studied marketing.
Yeah,
right?
I did.
Okay. And how was going through COVID here in Rome?
It was interesting. I mean, to be fair, when COVID started, I was on my 2 or 3 month travel. I was in Cambodia. Okay. I was on an island in Cambodia when I first heard about COVID.
Goodness.
And my plan was from there to go to Vietnam and do the Ha Giang Loop, which is on the border with China.
Yeah.
And once the news of COVID broke, my granddad was like, no, it's like really risky. Don't do that. Don't go to Vietnam. It's like so close to China. And so instead I booked my flight to India and spent a month in India instead, which was, now in hindsight, it was a really good decision because I got to see my family right before, the lockdown and everything.
Okay.
And I was lucky enough, I literally got one of the last flights from India to Italy before the lockdown.
To get back home.
Yeah, because back then Italy was the one that was going crazy.
I remember.
And all countries were like canceling flights to Italy. So it was just like, thank God I made it back because my permesso would have expired and my life would have looked completely different because that's when I got my dog and,
Sort of a sliding doors moment.
Yeah. Wow. If I'd been on the other side of it, I don't know where I'd be like today.
Wow.
Who knows?
So Monkey, your adorable Labradoodle, right?
He's a mix.
A mix.
Yeah.
Where did you get him? Here?
Yeah. So I found him on Facebook during COVID. On a volunteering group. Apparently, him and his 4 brothers, they were found in Puglia, abandoned on the streets, and they were looking for homes. I saw him. I was like, okay, let me try and... Yeah, I was like, because I had already tried to adopt like 2 or 3 dogs, but one, because of COVID, things were blocked and they couldn't send the dog through. And then I think eventually someone else adopted that dog. So, and then after that, there was another like Australian Shepherd who got adopted by a different family. And so I was like, okay, let's not get too attached. Let's try and get this dog, but let's not be too emotionally attached yet until I have him.
Yes, but it worked out for the best.
It worked out.
Do you travel with your dog?
I do.
You take him to India?
Oh, no.
No?
I mean, not yet. I don't think he's great with like cramped spaces.
Yeah.
And to be fair, with long haul flights, they'd put him in, they wouldn't give him a seat. So he'd be in the hold. And yeah, I don't know if he'd do well with that.
So do you have like a dog sitting agency you go to here, or how do you?
I just have a network of friends with dogs.
Okay, so they help you out.
Yeah, so I keep their dogs when they're traveling and, they keep mine when I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So it's quite handy.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right, I want to ask you, what are some similarities that you noticed between here and India?
Well, I would say Indian culture is similar to Italians because we always speak with our hands, we're really loud, and Italians are the same, basically. Yes. Very family oriented, like they love to welcome people, similar to India. So I would say those are the main similarities.
All right, and differences?
Well,
did you have any cultural shocks when you got here and you're like, my goodness, I think this is so different than what I'm used to?
Yeah, so a few things. Being a marketing person, when I first moved here, I noticed like there were the supermarket flyers everywhere. And I was like, who the does this? Why are they printing out these catalogs every week?
The coupons.
Not just, yeah. I was like, wait, how is this a developed country? Like, what the hell?
Well, actually, we do that in the States.
You do?
Yeah, there's people that are super into couponing and stuff.
it's not a thing. So it's like, what's going on? Why are they still using these backward processes? That was number one. And also the other thing is that, in India, we're all about like working and like everyone's like grinding and trying to do as much as they can. And here, everyone's so chill.
Yeah.
So it was like,
I
wow.
thought you were gonna say lazy.
No, I wouldn't say that because now I'm chill.
No, you're the lazy one.
So, but when I first moved here, like I remember I had to submit something to school and I needed printouts. So I like looked stuff up in like I did not know what the store is called, where you go get printouts from.
Yes.
And I looked up something, I found it, I walked all the way there, and it was the afternoon, so they were shut. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like that's.
So in India, things don't close for like 3-4 hours for lunch.
Oh no.
Okay. Where are you from in India?
I grew up in a city called Ahmedabad.
Okay.
And I was born in Mumbai. So
okay.
Yeah. You haven't been, right?
No. I want to go, and I'm gonna be referring to you for recommendations.
Of course. I'll give you a lot. Yeah.
All right. So do you think you're gonna be living here forever? What kind of feeling do you get?
I mean, I think so. I mean, maybe not Rome. Maybe I'd move out of Rome. But for now, I think it's really convenient. I like my life here.
Yeah.
And sometimes, you just go out in the evening and you walk in the city center and it feels like you're on holiday.
Yeah.
So I guess I like that feeling because it's like right here at your doorstep.
Yeah.
And at the same time, after years of living here, I mean, it's where I grew up. It's where I became a real adult, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of know how things work. And yeah, it feels comfortable. I don't think I would be able to move back to India for sure.
Okay.
But maybe a different Italian city.
Okay. Yeah. What are some of your favorite things to do here in Rome?
I usually like to walk a lot.
Yeah.
With Monkey.
I always walk way too much when I come here.
Yeah, it's just so nice.
Yes, it is.
Especially like if you don't have an agenda, you can just walk and get lost in the city.
And you don't realize until your feet hurt the next day. You're like, how many kilometers did I walk?
Yeah. So that's my top favorite. But then also like trying new places, restaurants, bars, seeing friends, going to the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a nice theater here.
Yeah, and also watching, going to the museums and stuff. There's so much happening in the city.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's very vibrant, and especially after COVID, that like you were telling me, there's a lot of new businesses that have opened up.
Yeah,
starting to become even more international.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Plus, I think as a resident in Rome, you have the MIC card, right?
Yeah.
And with that, you can visit so many museums for free.
Okay.
Which is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like an annual card, like the Museo in Comune, the MIC card, and I think you pay like €5 or €6 for the year.
Yeah.
And then you can like enter Capitolini Museum, like a few others, and yeah, there's about 20 museums in the city that you can visit.
What is your absolute favorite museum here? If you had to name one.
I don't know if I can.
You don't know? I'll tell you, my favorite viewpoint is from Castel Sant'Angelo.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
I love that one.
I love Piazza Garibaldi for the views.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, of course. Yeah, there's a lot. For art lovers, it's a dream.
Yeah.
See, I used to live here. It became a bit chaotic for me, having kids and everything.
Imagine.
But as a single lady, I can imagine it's a blast.
Yeah, it's amazing. I love it.
What are other places that you've visited in Italy?
Oh, I can't list all of them.
There's a lot.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Okay. You do a travel blog, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me a bit about that?
So I started my travel blog in 2019, right before COVID.
Oh, goodness. The odds.
Yeah. But I've revamped it like last year because I wanted it to focus more on Italy and places that I've been to rather than just like have no niche basically. Mm-hmm. And since I live here, I felt like that was the best for me, for my blog, for the direction basically.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I have a lot of content on Rome, like restaurants, what to eat, where to go, itineraries for like 3 days in Rome, 2 days in Rome, like yeah. So
I think that's great. That's a great tool for people who are thinking of moving to Italy and maybe want to dip their toes.
Yeah.
we'll link your blog below so they
Yeah.
can go check it out and get some recommendations.
I love that. Thank you.
And Merrill, okay, I wanted to ask you one more thing. Do you have any interesting plans in the works? Is there anything you're working on?
Yeah, so basically, I'm working on this business plan, basically, currently, which is to start picnic basket rentals in Rome.
Okay.
So we'll be based out of an office close to the Colosseum, and people who book online can just come collect a basket. It would have pastries for like, we're planning to have two formulas. The morning one would be a breakfast one, which would come with orange juice and maybe prosecco if you're on vacation.
Feeling feisty, yeah.
Yeah, if you're on vacation and that's how you want to start your day, sure.
When in Rome, as they say.
And of course, some cornettos, but like really good ones, like maybe from some of the best bakeries in the city, like Love. Have you been there?
No.
Oh, it's amazing.
I'm not a sweets person.
Okay.
But they do French side, I prefer the French croissants.
Well, they do have a salty one. They have ham and cheese.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, there's usually a line to enter these places. So the idea is to like kind of get some really good quality cornettos in our baskets, get some nice juices and put it together.
Things that they would have a hard time outsourcing every ingredient themselves if they wanted to.
And all they need to do is like come pick up the basket and walk to this park, which is right next to the Colosseum.
Amazing view, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's like one of the best views of the Colosseum that you can get for free, basically.
Of course.
Yeah. And then we'd also have the aperitivo one with like a little charcuterie board. So
and more alcohol.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course. And of course, we'd have customizations. If you have a birthday celebration, we can add in a cake. There's going to be a lot of like add-ons and things.
Are you going to provide blankets?
Yeah. Little cute basket with the blankets. You can just set it up at wherever you want in the park.
Yeah.
And if it's a rainy day, you can just take it to your balcony,
All right. Yeah. Well, I think that's a great initiative.
Thank you.
And it's something that is going to be a breath of fresh air here because I haven't seen anything like it. I think
I feel like everyone who comes to Rome, like they have a list of things to check off. And you're just going from one place to the other, but not like sitting and like admiring the beauty of a monument.
And enjoying the moment.
Yeah, especially because everywhere is so crowded. Like if you go to the square of the Colosseum, you're just people watching, but you're not watching the main monument that you're
and you're
here
getting
for.
harassed to like buy socks or phone chargers. Yeah.
Exactly. So,
All right.
So that's why I was like, this is like a way to kind of unwind and like soak in Rome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were saying when you moved here after school, you were working in the tour department for a little while. Do you think that that's a good job for somebody like moving here and wanting to start out?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Honestly, like if you don't speak Italian, it's like one of the only few places that you can work in Italy, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to deal with tourists who speak English, or you can work at a restaurant and bar, something like you did, right?
Yeah.
So I think tourism's a great place for anyone who's just moving here. There's a lot of opportunities as well. It's just not very regulated.
Yes, I know.
So it can be chaotic.
Yeah.
But as long as you can set your own boundaries, it should be fine, yeah.
Okay, good. And so do you speak Italian? We've never spoken Italian together.
I mean, I kind of do.
Okay.
It's just that I don't speak it all the time.
But you understand, you can get by. And
No, I can speak it quite well. It's just that I need more brain energy.
Yes.
To speak in Italian.
Are a lot of your friends expats also? So you end up not using it unless you need to.
Exactly. Like I don't think I have one Italian friend and she lives in the Alps, so I
Oh my goodness.
And she speaks English, so why would I?
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
So you use it when you're going to business or for some, and plus you work with UK
Yeah, so I don't
right?
use it for work either.
So how did you learn it?
Italian?
Yeah.
Honestly, I never studied it. It's just that when you live here, you pick it up.
Yeah.
And when I first moved here, my brain would try and like translate my English word to word.
Yeah.
But now I think Italian just comes from a different part of my brain. So it's not me thinking about something in English and then trying to translate it word by word in Italian.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, you ask me something, I'm going to respond to it the way I've heard people speak it rather than try to like translate it in my head. So I think that's the best way to learn it, I guess. The only thing is that probably my grammar is
All right. I agree with you. That's how
Yeah.
I learned, was listening as well. And I think most of the learning I did was here in Rome, because
Yeah.
having the English and the Italian, it kind of helps because you understand kind of what the translations are for things. And when I got to Sardinia, there's no English there, so I was like,
yeah.
I gotta get rid of my crutches and just jump in. But that's interesting what you say, and I have a friend that was talking to me a few days ago about how she feels like she has her normal English speaking personality, and then she has like her French speaking personality, and she loves her French self, but she says, I hate my Italian self. I don't like her. So it is funny how you do kind of take on a new, character sometimes.
That's true. I think for me with Italian, the biggest blocker is like, if I had to fight someone in Italian, I wouldn't be able to do it. Because I can't speak it enough. Like to the extent where I can just be like, especially when I'm mad, I can't speak Italian. Like,
oh my gosh, I can't tell you the amount of times that I've been frustrated or angry, and I go back and I don't say anything in the moment, and I'm like, what could I have said? How could I have said, I should have said that. But I totally agree with you. I relate to that feeling of being like flustered or angry in a situation, and like you would handle it so well in English, but now you just feel like an idiot and you can't get a word out.
Yeah, because I don't know. It's just you just don't know. You're so frustrated.
Yes.
You can't find the words.
Exactly.
It's annoying. That's
funny.
my biggest goal, to be able to curse people in Italian.
Well, I can help you now. I've figured out how to do it.
Okay, that's good.
All right, let's see. What else? So right now we're filming at my bar in Rome that my husband and I own with our friends. And you have never been here. And you're my friend. You've been my friend for years. Why haven't you come?
Well, I've been here once. And I think we had a drink outside.
Okay.
But after that, it's a student bar.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a student. Yeah.
Yeah. It is funny when I come here, the employees are always trying to get us to take shots and everything. And now Ari and I, our hangovers are a lot rougher than they used to be. So when we come to Rome, we're like, oh my goodness, we're in and out.
Oh God. Yeah, no.
Yeah, we've got to have a nice night here and do like a reminiscing. On Wednesday nights we do beer pong tournaments.
That's fun.
So we can let ourselves go.
Next time you're in Rome.
Yeah, I would love that. Yeah, not this Wednesday.
Yeah,
it's not the right moment.
Well, today is Wednesday.
It is, but no. I'm all talk.
I know.
All right.